Let's talk about the ATF retaliating. What's up, Wolverines? Welcome back to John Crump News, where we discuss 2A issues every day. I'm your host, John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist that concentrates on 2A issues. I also sell these things over at blackswanprints.com, where you can buy one and support the channel, which is a great thing to do. You can also like, comment, and subscribe, which is also another great thing to do. Today, we're going to be talking about a case, Morehouse versus the ATF II. Let's go ahead and talk about Morehouse 1 because that's directly related to Morehouse 2. In Morehouse 1, GOA teamed up with a gun shop, Morehouse Enterprises, to sue the ATF over their frames and receiver role. We all know that it's been vacated in the 5th, but this case was the first case filed, and it was in the 8th Circuit. So, Morehouse filed, and a couple days later, the ATF decided to inspect his gun shop. Now, this is the first time his gun shop was ever inspected. The IOI, which is the Industry Operations Inspector, Jacob Temp, actually joked that the inspection would be seen as a retaliatory move to the court case. And originally, the ATF was going to delay the inspection by 3 years, but of course, they didn't do that, and they went ahead and did the inspection anyway. And out of the 2,500 firearms that the store took in, all 2,500 were traceable. All 2,300 firearms that went out were traceable. There were 5 violations, and I'm going to go through those violations so you can make your own decision. The first violation was a forgotten record that they returned a firearm to a customer that was brought in for gunsmithing. Now, with a bunch of firearms coming in and going out, this is a very common mistake. A second one was they accidentally wrote a customer social security number in the NTM box. The NTM box is where you put the next transaction number at. So they put the customer social security number in there instead of the transaction number. And there was another one where they accidentally miscribed an NTM number and missed a digit. Those were the 3 minor violations. There were 2 other violations that were a little bit more serious. The first one was transferring a firearm to someone out of state, a handgun, to a Georgia resident. Now, that sounds bad, but the reason why the actual handgun interstate law is in effect is to prevent people from transferring handguns to a person from a state that has stricter laws. In this case, Georgia did not have stricter laws. He also used the resident concealed carry permit as a NICS exception. Now, in Georgia, you can use your Georgia concealed carry permit to bypass the NICS check, but apparently you cannot use that in North Dakota. So the ATF decided to go ahead and revoke both of Morehouse's FFLs. The company had 2 FFLs, and one did not have a single violation on it, but they decided to go ahead and revoke both. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the violations. Here is the thing. The violations that happened were not willful and also do not rise to the level of a revocation. According to the IOI SOP, these violations should have only been for one FFL, and it should have only been a warning conference, not a revocation. So this leads a lot of people to think that this might be a retaliatory strike against the FFL by the ATF, and also by removing the FFL, it would also remove them from the case, making the case moot. So is this the ATF playing games to try to get rid of an FFL that is suing them over a unconstitutional rule that was negatively affecting their business? I happen to think that it probably is. There's a lot of different things going on in the ATF, and the ATF has been overtly political and has been weaponized by the Biden administration and anti-gunners to attack legitimate businesses to try to pit them out of business. It is using end rounds to try to go around Congress to enact its own de facto gun laws, such as the frames and receiver rule that is now dead, thank God, and also the pistol brace rule, which will be dead shortly. I have no doubt in my mind that both rules violate not only the Constitution, but also the Administrative Procedures Act and should be struck down. And this shows you that the ATF is politically targeting people. This whole entire situation with the Morehouse Enterprises is a very, very bad thing, and it's setting a dangerous environment for any FFL that wants to speak out against ATF overreach. Luckily, GOA is helping Morehouse with this case, and they are suing the ATF to try to get the revocation taken off the table, because this is definitely a retaliatory move by the ATF, which is under the control of the ice cream eater in chief. Also, he's an anti-gun zealot, but you already know that. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you for watching. If you want to support me, I have tons of links down below, or you can just buy one of these awesome little statuettes things, these busts of Cobra Commander, or the Punisher, the Mandalorian, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. There's also a John Wick one on there as well, and they are already printed out and ready to ship, so you can go ahead and buy them. And if you have a Flipper Zero, there's some stuff for your Flipper Zero over there as well. So go to blackswanprints.com and check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keep in the fight. I am out of here, Wolverines mother.